What is up, guys? PocketCraft here, and welcome back to the Minecraft Pocket Edition Survival Guide. Welcome back, everybody, and for those of you who this is your first time watching this series or my channel, welcome to you as well. Today we're going to be talking about how to start a farm because we need some more sustainable sources of food. And so we're going to do probably more than one type of farm. I think we're going to learn how to do a couple different crop farms, and we might work on some animals as well. But the first farm I want to work on is probably the simplest besides sweet berries, and that's a wheat farm. And so a wheat farm is what you'll probably do in every situation on the first day if you don't find sweet berries. So if you find sweet berries, it's pretty easy to just start with those. But if you're not near a taiga biome, which you might not be, then the easiest thing and the best thing to usually go with is a wheat farm. And so to get wheat seeds, which are these things right here, you need to break grass. And so when you break grass, every once in a while, it will drop a wheat seed. So we're just going to go around and we're going to punch all this grass and try and get some wheat seeds. And there's a creeper over there, so I'm actually going to go over here more because I don't... Oh, we got one. There we go. I don't want the creeper to follow us. But we're going to go punch all this grass, see how many wheat seeds we can get. We already have 6, which is enough to start a small-scale farm. But the more you start with, obviously, the faster you'll get more, which, I mean, makes sense. And so we'll try and get a little bit more, maybe around 15-ish would be nice, but 10 is plenty to start with. We'll just break all the grass in here. I don't really like the way grass looks anyways, and so I'm totally fine breaking it. But to grow wheat or any other plant what you need is hydrated soil. And I'll explain in a second what that is. And so, I mean, theoretically, you could plant some wheat or something else not in hydrated soil, but it would take a really long time to grow. And so if you really want to grow plants and grow it effectively, you need to do it on hydrated soil. And the way to do that is twofold. First off, you need a hoe. So a hoe is a tool, and it's built with just 2 sticks and 2 pieces of cobblestone. You can make it out of any material, although I would suggest probably just do stone because there's not really much of an advantage to making it out of iron or anything. Besides, I mean, it'll last longer, but to me, that would be a bit of a waste of iron. But also, for a block to be hydrated, it has to be within 4 blocks close to water, right? And so it doesn't have to be right next to water, but it has to be within 4 blocks of water. And so that means if you had a bucket, which I do not have, a bucket is just an item that's made from 3 pieces of iron that we will probably get soon. You could even just dig a hole, put a block of water here, and then go 4 blocks out this way in all 4 directions, and then you could connect that and you can make a square field. But we don't have that capability, so what we're going to do is just punch a couple of these blocks right here, and we're just going to make our farm right next to the river here. And now this is obviously not the most permanent farm. We'll have to make a larger scale one later, but this will last long enough for now. And so one thing as well, right? So to make it farmland, you have to put the hoe right there. And then since it's next to water, it'll become hydrated. And so you can put your seeds there and it'll grow. However, if you go and you jump on farmland, it'll change and not become farmland. Every once in a while, you'll jump and it'll be fine. But if you or another mob jumps on it, it has the possibility of changing back to normal dirt. And so that's just one thing to be careful of. Try not to jump on your farmland because then it may not grow. And you don't want to slow down the process because you need food. But we will just fill this part here that we have. And then you can make it grow a little bit faster if you put torches nearby, because then it will grow at night and during the day. And so we'll leave that there for now to have it grow. And that's how you start a wheat farm. But tomorrow, because I think it's about time for me to go to bed, looks like the sun's setting, we're going to go back to that abandoned village that we haven't looked at yet. We're going to explore the abandoned village a little bit, as well as usually villages or abandoned villages will have some sort of crops growing there. And so we can get some other seeds there. Because there are many types of crops in Minecraft. There's wheat and sweet berries like you've seen. There's also pumpkins and melons. There's potatoes and carrots and beetroot. There's cocoa beans. But the main ones there are probably potatoes, carrots, beetroot, and wheat. And sweet berries, pumpkins, and melons, I guess. I kind of said a lot there as the main ones. But we are going to go back to that village and see what we can find, because we're going to want some more plants to crop. I mean, more crops to plant. Excuse me. I cannot talk today in this video. But you can find a village usually fairly easy, and we'll do another episode on that. But if you, in your own world, don't have one right here, then if you look around for long enough, you should be able to find one. But it's not necessary. You can find wheat anywhere, obviously, and you can live off of wheat. But you can find other crops other places. Now I'm going to go around a little bit carefully here, because abandoned villages, usually they spawn with zombies in them, right? And I do kind of want to, if possible, enclose this guy here. Because it is possible to turn a zombie villager, which is what this guy is, into a normal villager. And so I'd like to get 2 of these covered up, just in case it's hard for me to find an actual village where the people are, the villagers are okay, and it's not destroyed like this one. Then we can make villagers out of these guys. But usually there will be some sort of loot in some of the houses. And so I'm going to just explore really quickly here with you guys. See if we can find anything. There is usually a couple chests like this. So sometimes there aren't great stuff. But like here's bread. And so bread can be made with just 3 pieces of wheat. Here are some pumpkin seeds, which is nice. But the big find here, in my opinion, is potatoes. Potatoes are awesome. And potatoes and carrots are the easiest resources. I'm going to take that chest as well. Easiest resources to build an automatic crop farm out of. And I prefer automatic crop farms because, I mean, you don't really have to do anything. And it just gets you food. And so, in my opinion, it's always great to have some potatoes and carrots. Let's try and get that guy. Oopsies. I might not be able to get him stuck in here, unfortunately. Yeah. I already have 2 stuck. I might just kill him, because I want to see what's in here. And he's stuck in cobwebs. And now cobwebs are, you can get a lot of string from them, which is nice. And so I might break a couple of them. But they are really obnoxious. If you get stuck in it, it just makes you really slow. But there's another chest in here with compasses. Compasses, in my opinion, aren't the most useful item, but that's all right. And usually it takes a really long time to break cobwebs, but if you use a sword, they break pretty quick. And so let's go out in here. Oh, gosh. So that is a creeper, and he just broke out our zombie friend. One of them. I think we can rescue the other one there. And that other one's going to die, unfortunately. But so we're going to have to try and find another one because we need at least 2. But the thing about creepers is... Actually, we might be able to protect this guy, but it's pretty dangerous. The thing about creepers is they blow up, as you saw right there. And so you got to be careful because they can do a lot of damage. And they can destroy your house and everything. What the heck? That dude straight up just disappeared. There he is. Okay. So we want to see where he could still see us, kind of. So he tracks towards us. Dang it. Okay. This is difficult. Oh, gosh. Okay. I really want to trap him. Oh, gosh. This is dangerous. It's probably not the best idea for me to be doing this, but I want to trap him so we can make villagers later. Ah! I don't know why he's not coming towards me. Oh, he's scared of the sun. That actually makes a lot of sense. And I'm a little bit worried. I realized I didn't even give that guy an item over there, so he could despawn. So I think I'm just going to leave this alone for now. This isn't a priority for today. We can work on getting villagers later. And like I said earlier, it's not that hard to find a village, so we can worry about that later. My priority was, however, is looking at those crops over there. And I do want to explore all the houses we'll run by because there could be some good things in here. It's possible to find a saddle, and I think it's even possible to find diamonds in abandoned and villages and stuff, so it's good to check. I could have trapped this guy pretty easily, but I want to get into the chest, and so kind of had to get rid of him. There's a lot of bread in here, which is good. This will give me food for a little while. But it's not the best item that you could find in here. But I am happy about the potatoes. And I will show you guys how to plant potatoes specifically. But at the end of the day, that item that I just got was a composter. It's not super important to know about until a little bit later when we do start doing villager stuff. But a composter can be used to make bone meal, which we'll talk about a little bit later in today's episode. But this right here is beetroot. So beetroot is probably the least useful. I'm going to grab some just because I like to have some of every type of plant, especially when you get villagers because you can trade plants with them. The reason beetroot isn't the most useful, though, is because it doesn't heal you that much. And as well, you can't like cook it like potatoes. You can cook and bake potatoes and heal you more. But as well, when it grows, it goes into two different ones. So you can't make an automatic farm out of it very easily, like you can with potatoes and carrots. And so it's not the best. But we did just get a bunch of potatoes there. And I probably should have left some just in case I die or mess anything up. But I should probably be fine. And I'm sure we'll be able to find more later. Here's a bell, which I think is just a fun decoration. So I'm going to take that. You can find one of those in pretty much every village. But we're going to go through and just look at the last couple houses here. See if there's anything we'd like to take. But for the most part, we're pretty much good here. This is pumpkin pie, which is a good source of food. We're getting a lot of free wood, which is nice, but it's not really what we're looking for. Oh, that's actually something I should have been talking about. So if you'll notice, if I double-click on one of these, all the other items of that kind connect it. And so that's a really nice and easy way to connect stacks of things together. And as you notice, I'm taking the chests as well, just because chests are useful, and I might as well take them with me. Especially in this early game when you don't have a lot of resources, it's good. I'm not really sure I want the large fern. I think I'll leave that there for now, along with that chest. There's a stone cutter. This is actually a fairly useful item. It's here for villagers, but I'm going to take it with me. And I think that's a pot as well. So I'm going to take that because I like flower pots. It's a good decoration. And we're going to need to decorate our house that we built last episode a little bit more. But I guess while you guys are here, I'd like to ask you guys to comment down below what your favorite crop to plant is, for those of you that have planted crops before in Minecraft, as well as what your favorite thing about villagers are. So these right here are emeralds, which we can't do much with now, but they'll be really valuable later. You can use those to trade with villagers to get other items. And so that's something we're definitely going to keep, and that's one of the more valuable things we found. But I'm hoping we can find, sometimes in here you can find some really good stuff. So hopefully we'll find something a little better, but it's all right. We have some iron nuggets. That's all right. Not really the best, but I think it takes 9 iron nuggets to form a piece of iron. But iron you can find pretty easily just mining. It's not super rare, so it's not a crazy find, but that's all right. And I think we checked out most of the houses. I think there's a couple we probably haven't looked at, but that's all right. We've covered as much as I think is necessary. We can come back later when we start doing more villager stuff, and we'll take a closer look at this place. But I think I'm going to just gather a couple more sweet berries because I haven't been attending much to my old sweet berry farm, and I might make a new one a little closer to our base. Oh, that is one thing about sweet berries. You got to be careful not to step on them. But it looks like the sun is setting, so I'm actually going to go into one of these houses to sleep really quickly, which will set my respawn point here. So I got to be careful not to die. But we don't want to have to get sent all the way back to here if we die. But also it's a dangerous walk back to the house. So we're going to go back to the house really quickly. And then I'm going to show you guys how to plant the rest of these. And they're all pretty similar to the wheat like we already did. But some things are a little bit different. And there's actually more potatoes here. Would you look at that? So I'm going to grab more of these. So we are pretty stocked on food, actually. And we actually just saw something that I want to point out. This right here, poisonous potato. So for some reason, potatoes, occasionally when you break them, will turn into a poisonous potato instead of a normal potato. Poisonous potatoes, like the name implies, are poisonous. And so you really want to be careful not to eat them because I think obvious reasons, right? It won't do too much. You'll be better pretty quickly, but it's not something you want to deal with. And so those are pretty much trash. I mean, they really don't have like any use at all, unfortunately, but they're a little bit fun item to have. And so you could just throw them away, but I usually don't. I usually just put them in storage somewhere, but that's probably more because I'm too lazy to make a trash can out of lava or something to burn things up. Lava, for those who don't know, can burn up items. And so we'll make these farms here today. And obviously, as time goes on, we're going to make bigger and more improved farms along with these ones. And we'll probably tear these ones down. In fact, just these ones that are right next to the river there. But today we're just going to show kind of the basics of how to make a farm, as well as we don't have iron yet. I think we'll probably get iron next episode, but we don't have iron yet, so we can't really make the type of farm that I'd like to do, where it's a little bit away from the river. And so that's something that'll happen later on. But we're coming back to our little wheat farm here, and we're going to have to expand it quite a bit now so we can throw in the other crops. And I think we'll just probably put the other crops in right next to it. And then once we're done with this, we can make the animal farms, which will be a little bit more effective for a good source of food early on. But we're just probably going to throw in our crops right here, to be honest. We have enough potatoes to already start breeding breeding pigs, excuse me. We'll do, let me think about how we're going to do this. So we'll plant some beetroot, although it's not the best crop. Oh, and there's a pig already because I'm holding beetroot, so I got to be more careful about that. Well, actually, the pig came because I was holding a potato. So we'll plant these potatoes really quickly right here. Oh, and I hope he didn't break my farmland. So I'd like to do probably some more crops, and so I'm going to come over here and make some more. With my hoe. But next episode probably, or maybe even off camera a little bit, we'll start gradually just making these farms bigger. But for now, like I said, this will be more than enough to get us by. Put another torch right there. Oh, there's a cow. That's great. I don't know where he came from. Potatoes, I think, once again, are probably the most useful crop. And so I'm going to be planting those probably mostly. That and wheat will be the most useful early on. I don't know why this cow came down here. It's a little bit obnoxious, but he will hopefully get out of the way. Oh, he's just back on my farmland again. All right. But now let's go make some pumpkins. So pumpkins and melons. We don't have melons, but we have pumpkins. They work a little bit differently. Pumpkin, you put it right here, and it'll grow into a stalk. And then you don't want to destroy the stalk. With other plants, I'll show you once these grow up. But you saw kind of with the beetroot and the potatoes, so they got bigger. Once they get, there's a couple different stages of growth. Once they get to the final one, you can break them, and then you can use them for food or for replanting or whatever. But potatoes, how it works is it'll get this, not potatoes, pumpkins as well as melons. They grow up into the stalk, and then the stalk will put a pumpkin on it right here or right there. And then you can break the pumpkin, and then eventually it'll grow another one. And so we will put these probably around here. And this will definitely change how this farm is working pretty soon, because we're going to change the waterfall. But for now, I'm just using this to show you how to grow pumpkins. And so that'll be plenty of this stuff planted for now, I think. But I want to start working on the animals. And so for the animals, the only ones we could do finish right now are pigs. We will be able to do cows and sheep in just a second when we have some wheat grow. But first we need to make a pen. And so I'm going to put a lot of these items in my house because they're pretty useless right now. And then we will focus on making some more of our animal pens. I guess not some more we haven't made any yet, but we're going to make some animal pens. And so I think we might use it out of spruce because we haven't done anything with our spruce wood yet. And so I think that would be a good thing to do. But let's put all of our excess stuff in here. And we have quite a bit of excess stuff. We're going to keep this and this. And we'll hopefully... Oh, I'm going to need to show you guys how bone meal works. I forgot about that. We'll do that probably once we have our pens built. And so let's make some spruce fences really quickly here. It's good to always keep animals in a pen. Theoretically, you could just breed them in the overworld, but it would be hard to keep track of them, so I wouldn't recommend that. We don't need to make a huge pen here because we don't have a whole lot of animals at the beginning right here. And once again, this is a thing that we're going to make prettier as time goes by. But right now, we're just going to work towards functionality, right? We're just going to make it so we can get and start breeding animals. And so we'll make it over here. For animals, I usually you could build an actual stable or pen or something like that out of blocks. I usually prefer to just do fences. And usually... you'd probably want to keep animals separate. You don't have to. I usually keep them separate. And so in the spirit of that, since I have enough wood, I think I'm actually going to go back in there and make a couple more fence gates because I want to make a different pen for each animal just to make things a little bit simpler here. And so this will be one animal. Then we'll have another animal right here. Now fences, you usually want to get away from ledges a little bit because with a ledge someone could hop in, which I mean isn't too much of a worry with animals, but with other things it is. And how fences work is they're a block and a half high, so even the player, you can't jump over a fence, and that includes animals. So that's how you keep animals from getting out of here. But this will be for a second animal, and there's 4 types of animals that we're going to be wanting to have in here. And so I'm going with a little bit of a typical pen style that I like to do. I'll have to get rid of this tree really quickly. And I think I could show you, actually, since there's a chicken right here. We could do chickens first. Chickens are a pretty good animal to have, actually, anyways, because they drop a couple things. But to get a chicken... So I guess I should explain to you really quickly. With animals, there are items that they... eat, right? So like cows, wheat, chickens is seeds, pigs are potatoes or beetroot, sheep is wheat as well, right? And so if you hold that item out in front of them, they'll follow you. And so that's how you end up breeding or catching animals. And I'm not sure, I don't know how many types of seeds chickens respond to. So I'll bring beetroot and pumpkin seeds with me. I know wheat seeds work for sure. I'm not sure about other ones. This will actually be a good test for us here. But we'll put these out here and we'll try and get that chicken in there. We're also going to need to build a couple more fences here. And so that'll be good for us as well. We'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 more fence gates. And then we'll probably need quite a bit more actual fences. But we'll go finish this really quickly. I think that's probably enough. Oh, and it's raining outside. That's all right. Let's get a chicken really quickly first. And so once again, I'm not sure which kind of chicken actually needs. So they listen to beetroot, they listen to pumpkin as well. So you can do either. And so you got to walk a little bit slowly because they're kind of slow and they can lose eye contact with you sometimes and then they'll stop following you. And so you want to open the gate, get him in. Oop, and see he lost eye contact with me there a little bit. You got to get him in. And this is kind of a small enclosure, so it's pretty hard. Oh, but as you can see, if you're not quick enough, they can come right back out. And so that's something you got to be a little bit careful about. And I probably should have made this a little bit bigger so we didn't have to worry about that. But you want to get him kind of stuck right there and then close the gate. And there he's stuck. So we'll have to get at least one more chicken in there, obviously, before we can start breeding. It takes 2, but until then, we'll just keep on trucking along, and we'll be able to find another chicken pretty easily, I'm sure. And I'm going to have to break all this so we can fit in our final enclosure here. And this is probably not the most ideal spot for making this, so I'll break this up really quickly. But the best animals to look for, I guess, if you don't want to make a big enclosure like this, cows are probably the best. They give you leather, which you'll need for quite a few things later on, mainly just for books for enchanting, but cows are pretty good. And cows, the food they give you, beef, gives you the most energy. And I guess not energy, it's like these little mutton chops or whatever, right? But it restores the most food, and it stays there the longest. So cows are usually probably the best. Sheep, it's good to always have some because you'll need wool for lots of things. But that's probably the way that goes. And I didn't mean to put that there. So we'll connect this back up right here. I like having a little enclosure like that. And this is probably a little bit bigger lengthwise than it needed to be. But that's all right. I probably shouldn't have it up to a ledge like this, but I think it'll end up being all right. It just means that mobs will be able to get in here. However, I don't think that'll be much of an issue. Mobs usually don't go hunting down animals. I'll just have to make sure this isn't sheep, because sheep, wolves, which are an awesome animal. Wolves, you can turn into dogs, right? Wolves will come after sheep and kill them. And so you just got to be careful of that. If you've tamed it and it's become your dog, it won't. But wild wolves do come after your sheep. So you got to be careful about that. And I think I went one over and then put a divider in. Now let's put the gates in here. And let's go gather the rest of our animals. And we can start breeding them. As you probably saw when I was with the chicken, or you may have not seen, there was an option there for me to feed the seeds to it. And if you feed them, they enter kind of like a love mode. There's some hearts around them, and then they're ready to breed. And so when it's like that, you can, if you feed 2 of them, they'll make a baby. And it's nothing weird. They just go together, and then a baby pops out. I guess it's a little bit weird. But that's how you make a baby in Minecraft, how you breed animals. And so you can do that with a lot of animals and make a lot of different, you can get way more than just one than that you originally have. And our wheat actually is already ready, so that's perfect. If you notice, when you break the wheat, it'll give you some seeds and some actual wheat like we have right there. And so we can now actually have the sheep follow us. And so I guess we'll start with the sheep, even though there's some pigs over there that I was going to go get. We'll get the sheep first. So it might take them a little bit to get up here. Like I said, it's a little bit hard with steps. Sometimes they struggle. So let's see if he'll follow us. I'm not sure how he's going to get up here, to be honest. Let's see here. Come on, buddy. Maybe if I break this, he'll follow up. There we go. Come on. There we go. We got him up there. And the annoying thing about rain is I can never really tell what time it is. Oh, the water is going to be a big issue, actually. He's not going to be able to get through that. So we're going to make a bit of a path through the water here, I guess. We'll just go across over here. I guess I could have just... Oh, gosh. There he is. Oh, he made it himself, kind of. So let's just try and make a path where he's not going to have to path the line around water, because that would be difficult. So we got him through. There we go. So now we're going to get him over here. And I think there was another sheep that was over here already. I would try and find them both. Would be nice, and just get them both to come in at first. If not, we can grab the other sheep later. And I don't see the other sheep, but there were 2 pigs over there, so I'm probably just going to go get the pigs really quickly. We'll put him in here. It's the same process. You'll have to bring him over in the corner, and then... and I'll show you guys in a second. There's a way to get out easier if you use a different item that can make your life a whole lot simpler. And so we'll do that in a little bit. But right now we're going to go look for some pigs now to gather them in. And so there's the one right here, and there's the baby horse over here. It looks like he's like drowning. So let's rescue this baby pig really quickly. Oh, what? He rescued himself. Okay. Let's make it easier for them to get over where I want them to be. Oh, he already kind of did. All right. We'll see if they follow me. Yeah, this is not the ideal area to be doing this, probably. I'm just gonna... I guess I should probably be punching the potatoes, but then I'm gonna eat it. I'll eat some bread really quickly so I can get through this. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of a while. It can be a little bit of a difficulty, actually, so it's probably good that it's taking me a while, because it might take you guys a little bit. Sometimes wrangling animals can be really easy and simple, but their AI isn't always the best, so sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle. And so it may take you a minute to get them where you want them to go, but it is worth it in the end. And that's kind of how a lot of things in Minecraft can be. They can take a second to get things how you want, but it is worth it. I promise you that. Now pigs, you can actually ride pigs. It is possible. You'll need a saddle, which you'll need to ride horses as well. The saddle is a little bit of a difficult item to find. It has to be in chests in certain places. That was one of the things I was hoping I might find in the village, but you need a saddle, and then you also need a carrot and a stick, and you can ride on top of pigs. And so we'll hopefully do that at some point in the series, because I always think it's pretty silly, but that is something that is possible. So let's try and maybe just get the pig over here, and then we can bring him up over here. Oh, and he fell down again. So maybe we'll try going a little bit longer this way, and he won't fall in the water, hopefully. So he's up here, and let's go over here. And I'd like to find another adult pig. The baby pig will grow into an adult pig eventually, and so it won't be too much of an issue. It'll become an adult eventually, but it's easier to just start with an adult. Oh, he's gonna, yeah. All right, we're getting him almost there, and so we'll bring him in over to his pen really quickly, and then it looks like it's nighttime, so I'm gonna have to actually get inside really quickly. But one thing about baby animals is you can feed them and speed up their growth. And so since I have so many potatoes, I might actually go about and try and do that. And let's just see if we can get him to... There's an adult. Sweet. And so now we can feed the 2 of them, and the hearts appear, and there's a baby, and you get some experience as well, which I'll tell you guys what experience is more for in a later episode. We'll have an episode probably dedicated to that. But that's how you breed animals, and it might be a little bit obnoxious to watch me go through and do this to every animal. And so I'm just going to go out and look for some sheep and cows and chickens and fill in the pen. But I'll show you what bone meal does really quickly. So bone meal it will just speed up the growth of your plants, right? And so you can just turn a bone into a 3 bone meal. And if we go down to some of our plants down here, let's start with the wheat because that's what I really wanted to be growing more. If I go over the wheat and put bone meal on it, it'll go to like the next stage. And so now we have finished wheat, right? And I'll go and harvest that and plant some more later. But right now, I think I'm going to go finish up that gathering all those animals. Hey guys, so I'd actually ended this video, but I remember there was something important I forgot to show you that I said I was going to show you. So I'm kind of jumping back in here really quickly. And so I told you guys I would show you a way how you can get in and out of the fences easier without having to battle the animals every time. And the way to do that, it will take at least 2 wool. But with 2 wool, you can make carpet, okay? And I'm also going to show you guys something else while we go in there. So I'm going to take this magenta dye with us. But with carpet, you can put it on top of a fence post, and you can walk over it and just get on top of the fence and hop in and out that way. But for some reason, the animals don't recognize that and don't use it. And so put one on the corner each place here like this, and you can get in and out real easy just like that. But the animals don't do that. But also, it's good to put torches along here, and you can put torches on top of fence posts just like that, which is super nice. But I'd recommend you put torches along your pens so that no mobs, mobs or zombies and stuff. Well, these are actually mobs to animals, but none of the monsters spawn inside and get your animals. But also, I guess you can see when I ended the video, I told you guys I'd go get all these and I'd show you get all these animals and I would show you next episode. But I actually got them all now, so I guess you guys can see them now. But there's one more thing I thought I might as well show you if I had to bring you guys back anyways. But I showed you last episode, I believe, how you can dye certain items like beds and stuff. You can also dye a sheep, and their wool will be like that. And now, when I harvest wool from this sheep, it'll be magenta wool. And you can dye sheep any color. You can have them, and you can even find them in the wild in different colors, but it's usually pretty rare to find them in colors besides like white, brown, black, and gray. But you can dye them any color you want, and I could dye them back to white if I wanted, which I probably will either dye them white or a different color because I don't think I'm going to build anything out of magenta blocks. But you never know. It's kind of fun to have different colored sheep. So that was just a fun tip I thought I'd bring back for you guys. But I think that will be it for today's video. I would really appreciate it if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're enjoying the series and you're new, please subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and it'll help you so you can see more videos like this when they come up. But if you did enjoy this video and you're already subscribed, please throw down a like, and please continue watching this series. I really appreciate the support you guys are giving me. But I'll catch you guys all in the next video, and have a great day. Bye.